Hello, welcome to Late Night Creations. My name is Kendra and I'm so glad you're here because I have a great video today. I found some huge wooden blocks at the thrift store and wait till you see what I did with them. Let's get crafting. Okay, I have these little pieces of wood from that swing set. If you've watched my channel at all, you know that we had this old swing set that a storm blew down and we saved it, and I've been using that scrap wood in a lot of DIYs. So I have these little pieces and I just painted this one white, and I'm going to paint the back of it, just a messy coat. And then it's all painted, it's all dry. Now I'm going to cover the front of it. I did not need to cover the entire front of it with Mod Podge, but I did, just so that it all looks the same and, you know, even. So I did a good thick coat of it all across the front of it. And then while that's drying, I'm going to separate, and it separated very easily. This was a Dollar Tree napkin. And I guess the Mod Podge is already dry or I wouldn't be laying that napkin on it. But anyway, I'm just, for placement, I'm trying to see where I need to cut this napkin. So I'm going to cut it right in half. And I separated the ply. You know, I only want the front ply, the one ply that the print is on. And so I'm going to cut off what I don't need. And I'm going to cut around this. Now, there's another method you can use. And you can take a little paintbrush and just use water and paint around it where you want to cut. And you can kind of rip it. But this worked just fine for me. Now I'm going to round these edges because the edge of my boards are round on the corners. Now if I were going to do it this way and they were square, I would have left them square. But I'm just a little extra like that, and I wanted it to fit on there nicely. And look how nice that fits on there. Now that Mod Podge is dry, and I'm just going to take my little iron with a piece of parchment paper and iron that napkin down on that Mod Podge. Now I did this without the parchment paper thinking it was going to be okay, and it was, but it almost wasn't, if you know what I mean. So always use your parchment paper. Now I cut this little Harvest Blessings decal out with my Cricut, and then I decided before I did that I probably should dry brush a little bit of this chocolate sprinkle paint, acrylic paint by probably Apple Barrel. Anyway, you can use any kind of color you want, and as little or as much as you want. And I just would put it on there, and it was a little bit slick from the Mod Podge, so I could just kind of rub it a little bit. And I just did it until it looked like I wanted it to. And then now I'm going to put this decal on there, and it went on really easy. And this was a, what do you call this? Rose gold. That's what it's called. And I thought it just kind of looked like fall and looked like it matched this napkin pretty good. So and I was a little bit afraid with the texture of this wood that it might not stick on there very good, but it went on there like a charm. Look at that. I think this turned out so pretty. I really like this. So I just burnish it in there in all those little creases of that wood grain with my fingers. And then I just got some of this twine that I get at Walmart. It's a really good deal for what you get on this roll. And it's a little thicker than what you can get at Dollar Tree. And I'm just measuring out how long I want my hanger. And I put a knot in each end. And then I'm just going to staple it to the back because this is thicker on one end than the other. I don't even know what part of the swing set or fort. It was kind of one of those swing sets that had kind of a fort in the middle where they could climb up and then they could slide down, and it had swings, and it was a really fun little swing set while it lasted. But we bought it off Facebook Marketplace and got a really good deal on it because some people were moving and didn't have room to take it with them, and we got it really cheap because they had it for a while, and then we had it for several years, and it, you know, it served its purpose. And then the storm, you know, where we moved out here in the country, the wind blows like crazy, and if it rains and the wind is blowing, you better have everything bolted down because it's gonna blow over. Anyway, so here's the final result, and I think it turned out adorable. Okay, here's our next fall DIY. If you remember my haul from when I was in Kentucky, I got all these wood dice. So let's see what we can do with them. So I'm going to use 2 packages, and I'm going to use these stickers that I found. I finally found some fall stickers. I haven't found the fall rub-ons, but I found some fall stickers at Dollar Tree. So I mixed up this color paint. I don't have any alabaster. If I had alabaster, I probably would use alabaster by Folk Art. But I didn't have any, so I just mixed a little bit of some tan in with my white. And I gave these both, and this was Fawn. I used Fawn by Folk Art for those. And I just gave them 1 coat. And now I'm going to use the dark wax and the white wax by DIY. And I'm going to put the white wax on these I did with Fawn, and I love how this turned out. Now I did this, and then I think, if I'm not mistaken, okay, I'm going to show you in just a little bit what I did. Okay, the dark wax was a little different than what I expected, but I loved it. I should have just kind of left it like that, but I did take the clear wax and try to seal it a little more or something. I don't know. And it kind of acted as an eraser and took a little bit of it off and smeared it and blended it, which I didn't really want it to blend it because I really wanted them to still have that white look to them. But I like how they turned out after all. They all turned out fine. So I love them. I'm telling you, I love the wax. That was my first time to use the clear and the dark. I just got them, and I buy them from Upcycle by Bree, and I will leave a link to her website in the description box below. Now I'm going to just pick which stickers I think will fit on there, and I'm testing the stickiness, and they are not sticky enough. So I'm going to use my Aleene's tacky glue, and just, yeah, I got a lot on there, so I'm trying to rub some of it off with my finger, and that's going to hold it really nicely. And then I'm just going to pick which one of these stickers I want on there next. And so these are the stickers that I chose to put on these 3. And then I'm going to make some teeny tiny little shoestring bows with this little skinny twine that I get in the automotive section at Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to glue them right to the tops like they're at the, kind of like they're on the top of the pumpkins. And I'm just going to put a teeny tiny little drop of hot glue, and I'm going to use my tweezers to put it on there because I love to use my tweezers. And look how cute they are, side by side or stack them up. Now on these I used the smaller ones, and I ended up cutting some of those stickers up to make them fit. If you have some of those rub-ons from Dollar Tree, that would be great. You could cut something out on your Cricut to put on them. You could draw something freehanded. You could paint something on. But I had these adorable little stickers, and I thought, why not use them? So now I'm just going to do this little method that we do a lot, where we just wrap the twine around. And because they're not square on the sides, on the corners, I was having a little bit of trouble keeping the twine on there really good. So I did hot glue it around the edges, and then I did all 3 of them. And I just chose to stack mine one on top of the other. And look how cute they would be. So cute on a tier tray. I just think they're super cute. Okay, next. I got this little thing, this little decor piece at Dollar Tree. And I thought it was so cute. I actually picked up 2 of them. So now I'm going to wet this paper towel with my spray bottle. And I made a big, huge mess with that spray bottle in this water. So let me grab another dry paper towel to put under here. And I'm just going to let this soak. I just put it on there and let it soak and peeled that off. Now, I didn't even care that I could, you can see that I didn't peel all that paper off. I just wanted to get that slick part off. And now I got some scrapbook paper, and I'm just going to cut it the shape of the decor piece. And then I know that I'm going to stick it inside, so the edges are going to have to be a little bit shorter so it's going to fit down in there. So I decided to cut that a little off just a little bit and make sure that it's going to fit, and it looks like it's going to fit just fine. Now, I need to cut just a little bit more. Oh, nope, I decided that's going to work. Okay, so I'm just, the bottom part down there, I'm just going to use my glue stick. And then I'm going to stick it down in there, and then I'm going to use my little Cricut scraper tool to well, as soon as I get it in there straight. Oh, look at that little moth over to the left. That little guy gave me some fits. There, I'm fighting with it. Get out of there. Okay, then I just use my little spatula, rubbing that down to make that glue stick, that paper stick. And then, oh, I forgot to tell you, and I didn't record a lot of stuff in this video. I'm so sorry. Not on this whole video, just with this piece. I put some Mod Podge on there, just like I did on the last one. And look how, I mean, there are no wrinkles, no bubbles. This is the greatest method ever. And then I'm just going to take this X-Acto knife and trim off the excess. It works great. You can use your sanding block or a nail file and, you know, sand it off. But that worked great for me. And then I'm just taking a little bit of brown paint and I'm going to paint the edges of this just so it looks finished. And then I'm going to pull that paint down onto that paper a little bit so it looks, you know, a little bit old and worn. And then I have this little give thanks little wood cutout that I got at Dollar Tree in a pack. There were several words in a pack, and I'm using this what is that color? Oh my gosh, Canyon Sunset. I love it. It's been my favorite orange for fall. And I'm just using some white wax, and then I'm using a little bit of my chocolate sprinkles, dry brushing, just getting the color I want it to be. And then I went back over it with some more white. And then I'm going to just put a few little spots of glue on there and glue it down on there. On there. I'm just saying on there a lot tonight. Now I'm going to take those beads that I saved, and I'm going to paint this one, putting it on the end of a paint brush so it doesn't roll around, and I'm just going to make it match that. I did do 2 coats and dried it with my heat gun, and then I'm just going to pop it off of there. Now I didn't like how shiny that was, and I did not show you how I did that, but I just took elephant and silver lining, and I used my makeup sponge, and I just dabbed until I got the color that I wanted. And then I'm taking that truffle by Waverly and sponging a little on the edges so it looks a little rusty. But for the silver part, I just did that silver lining and elephant. A light gray and a dark gray. Just sponged it with that sponge, pounced it. And then I did that rusty color. Now I'm just going to put these beads on some twine and stick it back through there like it was in the beginning, because that's cute as a little hanger. And I'm just going to tie a knot in the end, cut off the excess, and voila. And then I got in my scrapbook paper and found some. You can use whatever color you like. And I'm going to put blank ones in there. And I'm going to put the things that we give thanks for. Jesus, number 1. Jesus died on the cross for us so that we can have eternal life and heaven with him. So most thankful for that. So thankful for my family. And I'm very thankful for my health. At my age, that is something very much to be thankful for. If you have good health. Any age, but especially at my age. Then I'm going to put some blank ones in there because I plan to sell this, so whoever gets it can put whatever they're thankful for. So let me know what you think about this one. It's a little different than something I've ever done before, but I really like it. Okay, ready for those big blocks? Pick these up at the thrift store. They are 6 inches by 6 inches. They're hollow inside, so they're lightweight. And I am so excited to show you what I did with these. Okay, so I gave all sides of it 2 coats of white chalk paint. I'm not going to show you all of the painting, but I did. I don't know if I even did 2 coats. I think I did 2 coats, maybe 1 or 2. And then I cut these stencils out on my Cricut. You could use, I don't know if you're going to find stickers that big, but you could use that method where you print out your letter and then sketch on the back of it and do it. Use graphite paper, carbon paper, graphite paper, any of those methods. Freehand it if you're good at that. But I wanted to do it with the stencil. So I did the letters F-A-L-L. And now I'm going to use this Mod Podge so that it doesn't bleed, because this method works absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to just put a thin coat on there, and it's going to dry super fast. By the time I finish the L, the F will be dry. And so, don't know why I'm starting with the L, or maybe that's just what I edited out to show you. But I'm using this little pouncer. Probably got this in a, I think I got this in a big pack at Michael's. It was like a value pack of sponges and what have you. I had a gift card, and so that's what I bought. Oh, I'm going to show you the A too. This is the second coat. I think I did 2 coats. So I think the L was the first coat. This is the second coat. Yes, because here's the peel and reveal. We cross our fingers. We hope for the best. Say a little prayer and peel. But the thing is, if you have a little boo-boo on this, you can always go back with your white and clean it up. But fortunately, with the Mod Podge, I didn't have any issues. I love that method. Okay, so let's get that little piece out in the middle of the A. This is the tricky part, because then, you know, get paint on the tweezers and then it gets in the middle. There we go. Got it. Oh, look how crisp and beautiful. Yay. Okay, so we're going to let them all dry, and then I'm going to take, this looks like antique. Yes, this is the Antique Wax by Waverly, and I'm just dry brushing it. And I'm just going to do it until I get it where I like it. Now, I'm going to do this 2-sided. So I don't want to do this all over all the sides. So I'm just doing it what I think you'll see when you're looking at the fall letters and the bottom. So I'm just doing halfway, about halfway back from the F. I hope that makes sense. And you can probably see what I'm doing. And it may sound like it's not going to look good, but it will, because all the boxes are going to be sitting on top of each other. Then I took my 220 sanding block, 220 grit sanding block, and just sanded it a little bit. It didn't rough it up or distress it. It just smoothed it out. And look at the difference. How pretty that is. If you like it stark and clean, leave it that way. But here's the finished product of our fall with my little scarecrow. And I love it. Okay, here's the bonus DIY. Gearing up for Christmas. So this is 2-sided. So you can have fall. We're going to flip it over on the opposite side. And we're going to do the opposite of a stencil. Okay? So I know there's probably a term for this, but I don't know it. So if you do, leave it in the comments below. I'm sure somebody knows what it's called. So I'm going to put the snowflake on and press it down good. And now there's no way for me to put my Mod Podge on to keep any bleedage. Is that even a word? To keep it from bleeding. So we're just going to be okay if it bleeds a little bit, because I intend to distress this a little bit. So it'll be fine. So I'm going to press it down as good as I can. And then I thought I was going to use this Christmas red by Folk Art, but it was very pink. So I'm going to mix this bright red by Apple Barrel with it, and it's going to be just fine. And so I'm going to give it 2 coats. I'm going to do a thin coat, and I'm trying to be pretty careful, and I'm only doing it on the front. And it was very easy because the edges were not rounded, but they weren't even really sharp. It was really easy to just go to the edge with this. So I'm not going to show you all of that either. I'm showing you that on the opposite side of that A, I'm going to put Let It Snow. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Okay, that was bad. I shouldn't have sang. Okay, then I'm going to take this little teeny tiny dauber, and we're going to just put some little polka dots. We're not going to call these red snowballs, okay? I don't know. I did red on the other, and I thought it would just be cute to make it coordinate. So it's just red polka dots. All right, here's the peel and reveal. Now, this is not crisp, but I'm okay with it. I did fix that little red blob on there. I did not show you that I fixed it. I just took a little white on a little paintbrush and fixed it. But now I'm taking, I have no idea what grit this was, but I gave it a pretty hard sand. Okay, so I don't know if you can see it or not, but it distressed it enough that it didn't really matter if that bleeding showed through. It kind of made it look like it was supposed to look like that. So I absolutely love that it looks like that. If you don't like for it and that's going to bother you for it to look like that, or that's not the look you want, then by all means don't do this technique, or figure out a way to make it not bleed. But I think these are so cute. That's all I have for you in this video, but remember to be still and know that He is God.